May 16th, 1863. I'm 27 years old today and am pleasantly situated on Uncle Sam's farm. I'm thinking of the loved ones at home and of the many happy times I've enjoyed in days gone by, and I hope before long, if it be the will of a kind Providence, that I may enjoy some more of those happy seasons. May 19. Fighting Joe is pretty cute. It is hard to find out any of his plans, and it is hard to tell what the next move will be until we have done it. But one thing is sure, he outgeneraled Robert E. Lee and took the wind from Stonewall Jackson. We showed them what we could do, and that their lead was no better than ours. All praise to Fighting Joe. He is the general for the Army of the Potomac. I was under their fire and came off safe. May 21. I am blessed with good health, excellent spirits, and the best of courage. I am neither killed, wounded, or missing, but am right side up with care. I have stood by the flag for nearly 10 months and am willing to do 10 more if need be. June 21. Started this morning at 3 o'clock and proceeded toward Leedsburg. We passed over quite a number of plantations that are now evacuated by their owners and are in a state of bareness, yielding nothing that was any benefit to its owner. Here we found some nice grass, which we confiscated for our mules. We went on and arrived at Gum Springs at 11 o'clock in the afternoon. June 22nd. Here we watered and fed our teams, took a cold bite, raw pork and tack, and proceeded for 4 miles, arriving at a place that I shall call Zion's Hill. It yields a great quantity of secessionism, and I've had the opportunity of seeing it displayed among the women as they would stand by the roadside, and as we passed by, they would taunt us with the pleasant sound of, "Oh, the Yankee cowards are coming." But we took it from whence it came. Here we halted, cooked our coffee, partook of some fresh beef, and went on, arriving at Leesburg late in the afternoon, and halted for the night. June 27. The enemy is now on our soil. The fate of Maryland and Washington is about to be decided. Homes and firesides are involved. Millions of hearts will be filled with pride and joy at our success. Our boys have fought well heretofore, and we believe that they will now fight better than ever. Our failure to do so will give us a poor welcome. Now, as I have had but little sleep for the few days and nights past, I shall lie down and take a snooze. June 28. Started this morning from Leesburg, drove as far as Edwards Ferry, crossed over on pontoons, and found ourselves upon loyal soil. Good old Maryland. How different everything seemed. The beautiful fields of wheat, rye, barley, and oats, the green fields of the grass, the splendid mansions of the wealthy made me homesick when I compared it with that of Virginia, on which soil we have tramped for more than 10 months. Not a spear of grass could be seen, not a fence or a rail could be found. All was a scene of devastation, destruction, and havoc, for such are the horrors of war. After lunching, we proceeded on for a distance of 23 miles, and the day closed, finding us making our beds at a place called Point of Rocks near the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad. June 29. Today we passed through Poolesville, a handsome and thrifty town. Here I felt homesick when I saw the schoolhouse and the scholars were playing and jumping rope. But on I went, willing to be patient. Our next place was Monaco River, an Indian name. We passed over a handsome bridge into the village of Monaco and came to a halt, took dinner and proceeded on our way. It was raining quite hard, uphill and down, arriving at the town of Jefferson about 3 p.m. This was a very pretty place, and we passed through the town. We beheld the stars and stripes swinging in full array from a number of houses, and as we beheld the smiling faces which greeted us and wishing us Godspeed and a glorious victory, this gave us new courage and put fresh vigor into all our bones. We still kept on our way, arriving at Middletown about 5 o'clock and went into camp, where I find myself in good spirits and shall wait for further orders. June 30. We broke camp at 1 o'clock, passing through Middletown, met with a fair reception, saw some of the secession spirit manifested, but it did not alarm us much. Went for a distance of 10 miles and camped near the city of Frederick about 11 o'clock at night. At 3 o'clock this morning, we were on our taps, and at 4 we were on the double quick. We passed through the little quiet towns of Hagerstown and Craigstown. These were both pretty places, and we took them by surprise. We could hear the young folks say, "Don't the soldiers look pretty?" I heard an old lady exclaim, "I never seed such a sight in all the world. So many people. Why, where did they come from?" I answered, "From the north." They are a mighty smart lot of men, indeed they are. Onward we marched for the distance of 23 miles and came very near to Emmitsburg. Here we went to camp for the night to await orders. July 1st. This morning we are waiting for orders. Our mules are hitched into the wagons. We expect to see some fighting before the day closes. No mail has come to us since we left Goose Creek. I stepped over to the regiment and got a letter dated June 21st and got back just in time to start with my team. We drove 10 miles, arrived at the town of Gettysburg. Fighting had commenced. I was ordered to the front with my load of ammunition to supply the boys. Went as far as the foot of Cemetery Hill, worked lively, and scooted back. Our forces are marching into the fray from all directions. It is a sight to behold. The fighting will be desperate, but we feel confident of success. May God grant it. General Lee has advertised that his troop will perform in Pennsylvania for a short time, but I think he will have to dance to just such tunes as we see fit to play for him. But I will not crow until I am out of the woods. It will be a hard struggle. Hooker is not in command now. General Meade has taken command. He assumes this responsible position without a moment's warning and issues the following circular to the Army. The commanding general requests that previous to the engagement soon expected with the enemy, Corps and all other commanding officers address their troops and explain to them the immense issues involved in the struggle. The whole country looks anxiously to this army to deliver it from the presence of the foe. Corps and other commanders are authorized to order the instant death of any soldier who fails to do his duty at this hour. George G. Meade, Major General Commanding. The 11th Corps started at an early hour this morning from Emmitsburg, a village in Frederick County, Maryland, 18 miles from Gettysburg, under the command of General Reynolds, neither corps knowing the proximity of the other. Buford's cavalry had reached the town the night before. Upon the arrival of the 1st Corps, they were instantly engaged, and almost the first volley, our noble Reynolds fell dead. But the battle went on, and about noon, the 11th Corps came up. General Howard took command of the field. He held Steinwehr's division and Weirick's battery for support. The rest of the 11th Corps formed in the open fields beyond the town and soon were engaged with the Rebs. There was a general engagement for about 3 miles in length. Our line was broken about 4 p.m., and our boys were driven back through the town to Cemetery Hill, losing many and killed and wounded. I've delivered one entire load of ammunition to the boys today. July 2nd. About all of last night was spent in examining our position as far as it could be done in safety and arranging for the troops that are coming to our aid. The 2nd Corps is just marching by. 6 a.m. General Meade and staff arrive at midnight, about 1 a.m. Doubleday, Hancock, and Sickles are on the spot with their commands, all in battle array, waiting for the cry of forward sooner or later. Hunt's battery is at our right, what is called Little Round Top. At my left is General Slocum's headquarters on what is called Powers Hill. The 5th Corps has arrived and are held in reserve. This line is formed on a ridge extending southerly and resting on Emmitsburg Road. Much hard fighting has been going on, and neither side has gained much as yet. Was on the field most of the day giving out ammunition. July 3rd. We have passed through 2 days of terrific fighting, and each commander is feeling the importance of today's issues. Our lines have been reinforced by the arrival of fresh troops. About 4 o'clock this morning, fire opened for almost an hour. Our boys advanced, and at 11 o'clock today, the whole line was reestablished, and for 2 hours past it has been quiet. During this lull, the Rebs were determined to end the battle, come weal or woe. About 1 p.m., the artillery fire opened, the ceaseless roar of 200 cannon lasting for over 2 hours. The earth trembled, the sun grew dark in the battle cloud, shouts and shrieks mingled in the din, and we knew that death was reaping down our brave boys with frightful rapidity. When it closed, the rebels advanced like an avalanche across the plains, but we met them with solid shot, shell, and canister. Still on they came, up to our very works, behind which lay the boys in blue. And for a moment of terrible suspense, victory hung trembling in the balance. Line after line of battle moved out and came grandly on, and as they rose from the valley, our guns from Cemetery Hill to Round Top sent among them showers of canister, and our braves dealt with them a deluging shower of lead, which laid them down by thousands. At length there came a lull, and then a shout along the wearied, bleeding line. The enemy was repulsed, and the day won. Lee is in full retreat, leaving all of his dead and wounded behind him. At 5 o'clock this afternoon, when I was munching some fried pork and hardtack, I was ordered to go to Westminster for a load of ammunition. Arrived about 9 p.m. July 4th. What a change when compared with the 4th of July 1 year ago. All that can be heard in this quiet little village is rattling of wheels, such as army wagons and artillery, going to and fro through the streets, conveying provisions and munitions to our brave boys who are so nobly standing in front of the enemy and are trying to break the bars of traitorism and rebellion. I've seen hundreds of prisoners today as they passed through the village en route for Washington. They were dirty, ragged-looking graybacks. The 11th Corps has won for itself a name that will last to the end of all future time. It fought bravely and nobly and never flinched. The 33rd was through it all. I've not seen the boys since the morning of the first day's fight and may not be able to see them for several days. We are having a beautiful and refreshing shower. July 7th. This morning was a pleasant one. We were on our taps and drove through the towns of Liberty, Johnsville, and Mount Pleasant, arriving at the city of Frederick about 4 p.m. and went into camp. Quite a Union sentiment prevailed in each of these places, if the stars and stripes bespoke them, as from about every house we could see them displayed. A short distance from our camp can be seen suspended from a tree the body of a man. I'm informed that he was a rebel spy. Upon his person was found quite a sum of Confederate script and greenbacks. In his boots were found plans drawn upon paper of the fortifications around Washington and Baltimore, showing the enemy our position and how to capture our trains, but he has met with his just deserts. July 12th. Well, we have given them, the Rebs, a sound thrashing upon loyal soil. And now to cap what we have done, Vicksburg is ours also. It seems that the tide has turned in our favor. Oh, Jeff, where are you now? Where is your Stonewall and your Longstreet and your Barksdale with your Legion who came upon the northern soil to whip the cursed Yanks? But the Army of the Potomac met them, gave them battle, and is now in full pursuit of the retreating foe. And echo answers, their Stonewall has tumbled down, their Longstreet has become a short one, and their Barksdale has found that he barked up the wrong tree. With many of their legion are prisoners, and many are lying dead upon the blood-stained fields of Gettysburg.